G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, this is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the greatest sport in the world, rugby. Now, yesterday I had to take a day off for to quench my anger issues. So I decided to go for a run in the morning, right? It was about an 8 kilometer run, got me nice and sweaty. Go back home, and then after lunch, I was still quite angry, still quite frustrated. So I went to the gym. And I vented out in the gym for another 2 hours yesterday. So hey, turns out, anger and frustration is actually good for you. And I haven't worked this hard for like 2 or 3 years now. So yeah, I'm feeling quite good about myself after that massive session I had yesterday. I feel like I'm ready to take on the world. So here I am. We're going to be talking about some rugby news that came out of last week of the Rugby World Cup second round. So first up, obviously, everybody in South Africa is talking about this. You can hear it. I can hear it over the ocean, okay? Actually, I didn't hear it over the ocean, but I heard it from the South African locals that live down the street from me. They told me that Handre Pollard has been recalled, and everybody was already spreading rumors, right? It was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be on. They're gonna put him on the field. They're gonna put him on the field against Ireland, or at least on the bench, right? There was, the whole conspiracy has finally starting to come true. Everybody knew someone was gonna get injured and it's gonna get recalled, and this is happening. But no, it didn't happen. Handre Pollard is not ready. I think the right decision. He hasn't already played a test match to put him in such a huge match right away. It's probably not gonna go well for him and for the team. So it's good to see that they haven't really just rushed him into the sport. And also, I don't think they need him. By the way, everybody has really rosy tinted memories of Handre Pollard. Last time he played, believe it or not, I remembered he was 50-50 on some of his goal kickers. Like 1 week he would be like 100%, and the next week he would be like 50% against Argentina. That's my memory. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure he's not really like the 100% man that everybody remembered him from 2019 Rugby World Cup. I mean, if you only watch rugby between the World Cups, that will make perfect sense. But if you actually watch it between, you would know that he's probably not much better than Manny Lebok in the current state of things. But then he's that big match player, brings a lot of confidence to the players, brings a lot of goal kicking confidence to the team as well. So, thumbs up to having him in the team. So with that being said, right, we're all here for this. By the way, the conspiracy is still alive. Springboks has opted for a 7-1 bench split. So obviously the infamous 7 forwards setup against the All Blacks, they have brought that out again. And the tinfoil hat says somebody's going to get injured before the kickoff, and Handre Pollard is going to get put into this team. It's going to get put into this team before the kickoff, just to save the Springboks. Oh, no, it's not going to happen, okay? The 7-1 bench split is actually a really smart setup for the Springboks. So based on, some of the games that we watched so far, the Irish likes to jam their attacks down the middle of the field with fast breakdown, fast ball. Oh boy, it's hot in here. Fast breakdown, fast ball with the Johnny Sexton directing traffic. And they really rarely go wide in the game. So just jamming those, tight channel, tight spaces, having extra forward on the bench, like 2 extra forwards on the bench, is tremendously helpful for the Springboks. It is massive risk, but I think the Springboks team has managed that risk really well, with obviously Cobus Reiner showing his diversity as not just number 9 but as a winger as well. And obviously the greatest Springbok in the history of the Springboks, Damien Willemse, covers every position in the back line. So it's actually not that big of a risk for the Springboks to play 7-1 bench split. Whereas if you wanted to get any other international team to do this sort of split, you're in a massive risk of somebody get injured and you don't have a specialist in the back line, and you don't have any specialists to cover that position, and you're just leading your team into downward spiral. So this is something that the Springboks has been really managing well, and it's really just shows some of the brilliance that Rassie Erasmus and Jackson Inaba has brought into this team. And by the way, the Springboks will be wearing the ugly. I actually don't think it's ugly. I actually really want this jersey, the away blue jersey. I went to the shops and the Springbok jerseys don't have that. They only got the new one, and for some reason I don't know who they designed these jerseys. Nike, you gotta get your designers together. It's super tight up top, and then huge around the waist. Right, it's literally a dress. Right, that's what a dress is. It's tight at the top and then wide open at the bottom. I don't know how they designed this, I couldn't even fit in I could barely fit in a medium at the top, and obviously the waist is just like already flying out. All like literally like I'm wearing like I'm wearing like my dad's old clothes or something around the waist, whereas the top and yeah, I still couldn't quite fit into the top part. Okay, so I don't know how they designed these jerseys, but that is my rant on the Springbok jersey design. So anyway, let's have a look at the lineup as everybody's been waiting to see. Stephen Kitsop comes in at number 1. Just huge battle. He's going to be going against not Andrew Porter. He's going to go against Ty Furlong, who's one of the best props in the world, but I think Stephen Kitsop will edge out Furlong just a little bit. Bongi Bunabi gets returned at the number 2 hooker position. He's now the premier player for the Springboks, and he's also like a captain role as well. He's showing a lot of that maturity. Franz Herber, the big man, comes in to eat Andrew Porter's lunch. So Andrew Porter is someone that really likes to get on an angle under the tight hair side. He's really good at that. We saw him do that against England in Six Nations, and I think Franz Herbe, the way that he handled, Ethan de Groot likes to do that as well. The way that he handled Ethan de Groot in the warm-up match, I think he's gonna be okay. But we have to see. Porter is a little bit lower, like a little bit shorter than de Groot. So I don't know how that's going to affect the overall scrummaging, but this will be an interesting battle. Now, Herbe did have a bit of a struggle against Skuman in the Scotland game, but yeah, we'll have to see if that's going to be a persistent issue this game. Ibn Esbeth returns from a little shoulder injury, but he's okay to the number 5 jersey. Franco Mercer returns to number 5. Siak Khaleesi, the captain, the hardest man in South Africa, returns from his knee injury, and he's just gets stronger every week. On that number 6 jersey in that open side flanker position. Pieter-Steph du Toit is number 7 jersey in the blind side flanker. I think this is a really, really important game for Pieter-Steph du Toit to not get with, to be disciplined, to watch his discipline is really, really crucial around the rocks for the Springboks, because in the end of the day, the match could come down the difference just between goal kickings. And it's and du Toit, he works around the tight spaces around the rock, and it's going to be heavily targeted by the Irish, and yeah, and his role is even more important to not give away those penalties. Jasper Wiese comes in number 8. He would be one of the specialists under the high ball on the box kicks as well, and he's really always a great ball carrier. I really like him. Just a lot of physicality that he brings. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jasper Wiese. Coming in at number 9 is Faf de Klerk. Yes, his performance in a fly half position last week was quite interesting, to say the least. And he's coming in at number 9. I thought Faf, showed a lot of endurance against the All Blacks, played the full 80 minutes. With the box kicks, was quite, still maintaining that accuracy, maintaining that composure after 80 minutes. And he's going to need another 80-minute performance, very likely this week as well. Manny the Ball comes in number 10. His goal kicking, like I said, against the All Blacks was like 100%. But against Scotland was a bit iffy, right? So it's the same with Pollard. Like, if the main thing with Manny the Bok is the fact that he can get 100%. So if he's mentally prepared, if the coaches prepare him properly mentally, he will be 100%. It's not like, it's always 50%, and sometimes it's not. He's actually has the ability to get 100%, which is the most important. They just need to mentally prepare him for the game. So I'm actually really confident that him at 10, and even in fact, I think that 100 Pollard is absolutely not even needed, because, like I said, 100 Pollard is also a player that's 50-50 at times. I'm pretty happy with the man in the block at 10 as the kicking role. At number 11, Cheslin Colby comes in once again in the winger position. Damien Dialendi and Jesse Krill finished off the center combination. Again, very surprising. They didn't opt for Andre Esterhazen and Kenan Moody. I thought that those two players brought in more speed and more there was more. I think Esterhazen really showed a bit more power over Dialendi, and also has a better passing game than Dialendi. And obviously Kenan Moody is much faster than Jesse Krill. But I think they brought in Jesse Krill and Dialenda for the defensive in the center field. But then again, like Damien Dialenda, he carried a lot because he wasn't able to create space for Jesse Krill in the game against Scotland, which was a little bit, something that you kind of want to do as a 12 to create some space. And also his carries wasn't that dominant. So yeah, I'm very surprised that they got selected, but we'll have to see it. The coaches have a plan, and this is the plan they wanted to go, and I do respect their decision. Number 14, Kurti Adensa, one of the most dangerous men in the world. On and off the field, he's just so good, so exciting. That crossfield kick we all remember against Scotland was just unbelievable the way he just catches that with ease and runs in for the try. Can't wait to see him again. And finally, the greatest Springbok in the history of the Springboks, Damien Willemse, covering every position in the back line. And he's been very good recently as well. And last week, his goal kicking actually showed quite a lot of promise for me. Like, his technique was really, really good, on point, and he struck the ball really, really well. There was no, in previous times when he kicked the ball, like, he can see that he's kind of winging it. The ball was just kind of like going left and right, like curving in different directions and stuff. It was like the ball was going straight. His radar just bit off. Like, he was not able to, he was able to hit the ball quite well, but he was just not quite able to get that accuracy. So I think that even if for some reason, man in the box, goal kicking, if man in the box comes off the field and Damien Willemse goes into 10 position and they put Kobus Reinhardt at 15, which is most likely what they're going to do, I think that even in that situation, I'm pretty confident that Damien Willemse will kick the goals. And so, yeah, I'm very happy to see the progression of both of these players when it comes to goal kicking. Number 16, Deon Fourie, again. He's not even going to throw the lineouts. He's going to be, because we saw last week Manko van Staden was actually a hooker. He will throw some lineouts as well. Unless the lineouts is under a lot of pressure, I think Deon Fourie will not be even throwing the lineouts. So they will be just using Deon Fourie as a extra utility player, as a flanker. They will have Manko van Staden in the hooker position and potentially do the lineout throws as well. Depends how things are going. Because Deon Fourie is just world class in lineouts anyway. Ox Uncha comes in number 17. And Trevor and Akani, the two lower. The two like lower heights front rowers will be coming in to finish off the game with a powerhouse. That what do you call it? This is the nuclear bomb squad coming off the bench. John Klang will be coming off with Achis Neyman, the two locks, just tremendous deal for the Springboks. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, the Springbok B team is better than A team." One of the reasons that the B team was so good is because Snyman and Klang does absolute huge work in the lock position, in the lineouts, in the scrummaging, in the breakdowns. They're just absolutely so tremendous. Manko van Staden at 21 and number 22, Huaga Smith. Huaga Smith was the seventh forward in that All Blacks game as well, coming onto the field to score a try. Was very just that injection of speed, that former sevens experience really suits him for this short burst of energy when he comes on with only about 20 minutes left in the game to finish that strong. And finally, Kobus Reinhardt. We're finishing the game at number 23 to cover. Probably just Faf de Klerk, to be honest. But he's most likely going to be on the field is not going to be field as a fullback. Most likely probably going to be as a winger, maybe a fullback. And then Damien Willemse will go into 10 and man in the block will come off. I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're going to do because that's what they did against the All Blacks. Next up, we've got, the jerseys already talked about. They're going to wear the green jersey. So there were some rumors that Rassie Erasmus will be going to Ireland. Had the connection with Ireland. He coached at Munster before, but no, Rassie has confirmed that he's not going to Ireland. The Vincent Koch obviously was pulled out late last week due to a bit of a knee injury. So the update was that he has a bit of a knee injury in the training. And that's just really unfortunate because big fan of big Vincent Koch. And then France has actually named a very strong, pretty much the strongest team possible up against Namibia this weekend. Obviously, their disappointing performance against who was it? Uruguay was hammered by the French locals. So they have to put out a big performance this weekend. But then again, I think you're risking probably injuries a little bit too much, especially players. I really don't think you need to put on like Anton Dupont and Damien Penaud in this game and maybe especially Jonathan Danty if he's not 100%. I really don't know why they're doing this, but French has limited a pretty strong team with Jonathan Danty come back from injury, and then and also big return to Cyril Bay, the loose air prop. He's a really big for the French loose forward. Again, I really don't know why they're risking him in a game that is like really not important. They need him for the quarterfinals. They need him to be healthy. I don't know why they have him on the field at all, especially I know it's a bit of an overkill. Same with Anton Dupont, you don't need him on the field. Ramos as well, don't need him on the field. Like if any of these players gets injured, it's a much bigger loss than blowing the opposition out by 100 points. That's scoring 100 points, right? Like it's just not really that worth it. So the All Blacks have beaten the Namibia on the weekend. Not Namibia. They beat who was it? Was it Namibia? Yes. Namibia. They beat Namibia on the weekend quite convincingly, 71 points to 3. I think the outstanding performer was Cameron Roygaard. This was also the 148th Test match for Sam Whitelock. And why is it so important? Because 148 is the current record of the test highest test caps held by Richie McCaw. Yeah, the greatest All Black of all time. So he's tied that record after this game, and yeah, he will be looking to build upon that in the next few matches. So Ethan de Groot, obviously, out of that match, is the biggest loss for the All Blacks. The one, like, again, I really don't know why Ian Foster even had him on the field. He's literally the one player that the All Blacks can't lose. But luckily, he had here's a red card. But luckily, the red card was only issued a 3-week ban. And if he does the tackle school, you'll be going down to only a 2-week ban. So it's not going to be. So he's going to be ready to play in the quarterfinals for the All Blacks. So there was obviously the big game of the weekend, big upset. It's the Fijians beating the Wallabies, first time since like for 69 years or something. And there were some talks about Fijian joining the Rugby Championship. I do think that it would be nice that Fiji and Japan in the Rugby Championship just have that extra bit of a competition, and also having a few more rounds of rugby to enjoy. But then again, you're only gonna play each team once now instead of twice. I don't know. But yeah, I think definitely a argument could be made that Fijians has made that level to compete against the best. So Eddie Jones obviously had a lot of injuries going into the match. Tanel Tupu and Will Skelton were injured. Skelton was pulled out last minute, and both players are going to be expected to be not available against Wales. Yeah, so really disappointing that. Obviously, Eddie Jones is running the mouse everywhere. The main thing out of this, he went on podcasts everywhere. Like, I mean, I don't know how you could be attending podcasts in a Rugby World Cup. Like, honestly, do you see Borthwick attending podcasts with Lawrence Deladio? Do you see Warrent, like Erasmus Erasmus, going around sitting in podcasts? It's unbelievable. Like, actually unbelievable. Like, it's just like unbelievable. And then yeah, obviously, Johnny Bill Williams has some criticism of Eddie Jones not selecting a experienced playmaker to support the Jesus, it's really hot here. I'm sorry, guys. To support Carter Gordon to support Carter Gordon with some more experience in the back end. But Eddie Jones came out and basically said, yeah, when you're a television commentator, you're always right. Maybe I need to become a television commentator, then I will be right all the time. Eddie Jones, and just keep that in mind, and let's have a look at the next article. So, Eddie Jones comes out and again, every week says the same thing, right? He's young. He's going to have those days. He will bounce back. He's a good player, right? And then he went on to say that, Carter Gordon, you just keep doing the hard work and you keep earning that jersey, right? So here's something that, I'm going to say to back up Sonny Bill Williams. So Eddie Jones, right? How do you earn a Wallabies jersey when Carter Gordon is the only 10 in the team? Okay? Eddie, could you please explain that to everybody around the world? How do you earn a jersey when you're the only one available for selection as a 10? Maybe you can explain that in your next podcast, Eddie Jones. After you lose to Wales, you have plenty of time to do that. Just unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. And then, okay, let's go to England now. So England had a big win over the weekend over Japan. I thought England was actually, playing a bit of a different, obviously that goal kicking strategy with George Ford doing drop goals was, they put the cat back in the bag and they played Japan in a more traditional style. Was a bit rusty. It's still looking a bit rusty, but English did really well to identify that the Japanese speed was an issue, and they really grinded down the Japanese attack, and then ended up winning the game in the second half, which was quite a good result for England. I thought, this Japanese team put a lot of pressure on them early, and they were able to absorb that, and they used that forward and that very important forward pack to stay disciplined and get themselves across the line. Japan, and with a bonus point win as well. What was the score? Anyway, 32 points to 12. And with Japan, the Michael Lynch became the most capped Japanese player in a Rugby World Cup. And so congratulations to him. And obviously, England having a lot of financial issues with a lot of Premiership clubs going under. The Wasps, the Warriors, the Worcester Warriors, the London Wasps, and I'm pretty sure the latest one is the London Irish also went down. So there's 3 clubs went down in the English Premiership, and there was a vote of basically no confidence against the chief Bill Sweeney and the chairman Tom Iloop. What an awful name. Anyway, iLube. That's a brand for a lube. That's a brand for a lubricant, is it? Anyway, anyway, so there was obviously the clubs went down. Obviously, there's accusations of financial mismanagement. There's some predicted forecast of 166 million pounds loss coming up in the next 9 years or so, and the RFU has come out and disputed this projections. But yeah, pretty a lot of civil war happening in England rugby as well in the back end. Obviously, George Ford, his goal kicking, the drop goals were so brilliant. There was a lot of talks about Johnny Wilkinson giving him guidelines, but everybody knows reality is just a show. George Ford is a cyborg. We all know that. I mean, he still can't trying to learn to smile. I mean, and also, someone please make sure that Freddie Stewart is a human being as well, because his face, right, looks like he's about 14 years old, and his voice is like a 50-year-old man. Okay, go watch a Freddie Stewart interview. Honestly, did they just installed the wrong voice for him when they made him out of the cyborg factory? And also, did they run out of adult male faces when they were making him? It's damn it, sorry guys, we've run out of the masculine male faces, but we'll just put on this 14-year-old kid face on him that it looks like he can never grow a beard, and then just to make sure that everybody's don't confuse him with a 14-year-old, let's just install some old man's voice pack onto him, so then there will be no confusion that he's actually an adult. Anyway, next up, Warrent Gatland obviously came out. There was a big, game against Portugal. Played quite well, Portugal, and Wales was able to walk away with a bonus point win, 27-12. But it was the Portuguese, was really, hung in there and fought hard against the Welsh. One thing I didn't understand with this game is why is both teams wearing the away jersey? I know Portugal is red, Wales is red, but both teams wearing away jerseys. I didn't know. Yeah, you look like I was watching some club rugby playing in front of me, and the Wales had a black jersey with yellow stripes on it. So yeah, I don't know why both teams had to wear the away jersey. So bizarre. Yeah. And so Warrent Gatland came out and called for the Rugby World Cup to be extended to 24 nations. I don't want that. I wanted to stay at 20 nations because first of all, I don't want to say blowout matches for 5 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks in a row. I don't want to see that. Too many blowout matches, number one. And number two, you have to consider that there's an injury issue as well. The players can't just play, 5 weeks in a row, even against, tier 2 nations or whatnot. Still, it's just too much for a team to try to win the Rugby World Cup, having to play so many more rounds, so many, one extra week. It's just too much. No. Just no. Straight up no. It's you want to set up they're proposing that that biannual, that every 2 years you're gonna have a mini world conference or whatever. I'm happy with that, but I do not want the Rugby World Cup to be increased to 24 nations. It's just gonna dilute the quality of the games, and it's just nobody wants to see that, honestly. Finally, Italy has named the team to against Uruguay just before. Feel free to look this up. This will be an interesting game because Uruguay is a team that upset the Fijians in the 2019 Rugby World Cup, and this could be a game they're targeting. And again, they almost upset French, so this could be a game that they're gonna be targeting this World Cup as the big win, big upset over the Italians. So anyway, that's the news for this week, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know the Springboks selections. Let me know the 7-2 split. And thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later this week for the reviews. and previews. I'll be previewing this game. And thanks for watching, and thanks to all the guys who donated money to me, especially after the Wallabies game. I really appreciate the support, and the Patreon supporters as well. I really appreciate that as well. Inflation and all that, I do appreciate every penny that you give me. It's I'm very grateful for that. So thanks for that, guys, and I'll see you guys later this week for more rugby content. Cheers.